what the secret sauce is the fact that we dare to go places that others don't.
I like that.
And, markets are volatile, right? And that's really driven by human emotion of greed and fear. And with the value strategy and our philosophy, we're able to really take advantage of that behavioral bias.
Hi, good morning, viewers, and welcome to episode 4 of Unscripted in Conversation with Eastspring Investments. As part of our Think Asia, Think Active campaign, emerging markets plays an important role as part of our Asia focus. And last season, we spoke to one of our senior PMs about our Global Emerging Markets ex-China strategy. Today, we thought we'd go across and speak to one of our colleagues who sits on the emerging market equities desk and talk about emerging markets and how they've done in 2025 and what it looks like for 2026. We've got a great emerging market equities team here at Eastspring with a deep bench. So let's go find Manyun and speak to her about EM and see what's in store for us. Join me. Good morning, Manyun. I'm so glad you could be with us this morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. So look, Manyun, it's been an exciting year for EM. So let's start with 2025. Why don't you kind of tell us your perspective of how the year's been for emerging market equities?
Perfect. So that's a really great place to start because EM has actually done really well this year. So it's outperformed the S&P and, it's the biggest outperformance since 2017. Now, there are many reasons, for this. And, one of the things that I want to sort of highlight that maybe other people haven't is actually on the improving corporate governance within EM. And I think it's going to be a long-term driver. Something else that we're seeing is, actually global investors who have been more focused on the US and on DM are now really having to diversify away from that and looking into EM and the rest of Asia. Sure. What is interesting is that despite all this, valuations are still really cheap. So what we're seeing is actually MSCI EM versus that of the All Country World Index on a PB basis, we still have, that valuation at a -1 standard deviation range.
Right.
And so, I think that makes this time perfect to talk about EM.
Wow. And look, very compelling reasons as well, right? So starting with outperformance in 25, corporate governance, valuations. Let's talk a little bit about the corporate governance piece, because I know it matters a lot to you and the team, and it's a big part of kind of the conviction on EM going forward as well. Let's double click on that a little bit. Tell us and our viewers a little bit about why that matters.
Sure. So that is definitely improving. So something that people might not know is that the yield for EM, both the share buybacks and dividends, are actually higher than that of the S&P 500. Well, and it has been since 2023. Okay. So, one very key example that, I just want to highlight is actually that of Korea. So Korea has been, stellar this year. And, one thing that I learned when I went there in May was that there's this huge corporate governance reform. And, that is really helping to boost minority shareholders and then value unlocking for them. So the point whereby in 2025, we're actually seeing nearly double the buybacks that we saw in 2024. Okay. So all that to say, there's still room to go, but, this is definitely something that is improving within EM.
Okay, fantastic. Very good to hear. And I'm glad we kind of got into that a little bit. So let's now move to 2026. Where do you and the team see opportunities? What should investors be looking for?
So as you know, Salman, we run a value strategy. Yeah. So what this means is that a lot of opportunities are going to be informed by valuation. Now, from top-down basis, what we see is that we are seeing lots of opportunities within countries that are more sensitive to real rates. So that's, Brazil, Indonesia, South Africa. And as global rates continue to come down, they should drive equity markets. Right. Now, I guess on the other side of things is the fact that EM investing is extremely nuanced. And so there's something I learned in Brazil in 2024. Right. When I went there, despite, the economy and the stock market being rate sensitive, what I learned is there's still pockets of opportunity in companies that are resilient. Right. And so that's why it's really important, I think, to be invest in EM in an active manner.
Of course, absolutely. And look at the perspectives, right? It's just a huge difference between sort of DM and EM, and you kind of bring that out with a real life story. Well, that's fantastic, Manyun. Like, I'm so proud of you and the team. Let's go to punchline. What's the magic sauce for you and our amazing gem team?
Sure. So I think what the secret sauce is the fact that we dare to go places that others don't.
I like that.
And, markets are volatile, right? And that's really driven by human emotion of greed and fear. And with the value strategy and our philosophy, we're able to really take advantage of that behavioral bias. And something that I learned when, I first started out with the team here was that actually when people start to fear is when we really start to get excited. So something one of my mentors told me, and it's stuck with me ever since, is that you either have really clear visibility or really attractive valuation. And what I'd say is that the EM team understands that, and actually, to go one step further, we embrace that uncertainty. And, what sets us apart is the fact that when others go away, we come towards.
Wow. Well, wise words from a mentor. Clearly great to have all of you on the team. Manyun, it's been a pleasure this morning and clearly shows the conviction coming through. So I wish you and the team all the very best, and hopefully we'll keep talking through the course of the season and how GEM goes, but great to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
All right, take care.